Most people feel safe at home. They lock their doors at night, turn off the lights, and fall asleep without a second thought. But what if that safety was an illusion? What if, while you were going about your normal life, eating, sleeping, watching TV, someone else was there too, watching, waiting, living in the shadows of your own home? Tonight we're diving into 3 real stories submitted by real people. Stories of intruders, unexplained sounds, and moments that changed the way these people felt about the one place that was supposed to be safe. Stay with me, because these aren't horror movies. These actually happened. Growing up, our family was lucky enough to live in a large house. And like most large houses, ours had rooms that nobody really used. Toward the back of the first floor, there was a side room. My siblings called it the second living room, and honestly, that description was generous. It had an old recliner, a small table, and a mid-sized couch. That was it. Nobody sat in there. Nobody had a reason to. It was just space. Forgotten space. I want you to keep that room in your mind as I tell you this story, because that forgotten little room is exactly where this gets disturbing. One morning, I woke up not feeling well. The kind of sick where your body just refuses to cooperate. Heavy head, sore throat, no energy. I told my mom, and she told me to stay home from school. My siblings headed out. My parents went to work. And just like that, I had the house to myself. For the first few hours, I just laid in bed, drifting in and out of sleep. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming, just a quiet Tuesday morning. Then around 10:30 a.m. I heard it. Footsteps. Steady, deliberate footsteps coming from the first floor. I didn't panic right away. My first thought was that my mom had gone into work late. She did that sometimes. I didn't give it much thought at all, actually. I was hungry, so I dragged myself out of bed and headed downstairs to find something to eat. I made it about 3 feet from the kitchen doorway, and then I stopped. Because standing in my kitchen was not my mother. It was a man. A tall man, easily 6 feet, wearing raggedy, torn-up clothing. He wasn't moving. He wasn't speaking. He was just standing there. And so was I. For a few seconds, we locked eyes. Neither of us moved. It felt like time had completely stopped. Like the world had paused and forgotten to restart. He had no expression on his face. No panic, no aggression. He just looked at me the same way you'd look at a piece of furniture. That blankness might have been the scariest part. My brain finally kicked back in and I bolted. I ran upstairs as fast as my sick, weak body would carry me, threw myself into my bedroom, locked the door, and shoved my dresser in front of it for good measure. I didn't hear him follow me, but I wasn't taking any chances. I grabbed my phone, and here's where I'll admit I didn't make the smartest decision under pressure. I called my mom instead of 911. I was screaming into the phone, barely coherent, telling her there was a man in the house trying to kill me. She told me to stay in my room and call the police, so I did. 15 of the longest minutes of my life passed before I saw the police cruisers pull up through my bedroom window. I watched them go in. I waited until I was absolutely sure the coast was clear before I crept downstairs. I told the officers everything. They did a sweep of the entire house. They found nothing. No person, no broken window, no forced entry, no sign that anyone had ever been there at all. My parents came home soon after, furious that whoever it was had gotten away. I was angry too, but mostly, I was just relieved to be alive. The officers started wrapping up, gathering their things, heading toward the door. And then one of the last officers to leave noticed something, a Walmart bag, peeking out from underneath the couch. That couch, in that side room, the one nobody ever used. What they found underneath it is something I still struggle to fully process. Hundreds of trash bags, rotting food, empty wrappers, personal items belonging to my family, wipes, water bottles, and a sealed bag of urine. Someone had been living under that couch, not for a day, not for a night, for weeks. He had somehow been underneath that couch, in a room connected to the rest of our house, for weeks. While we watched TV, while we ate dinner, while we slept. He was there, completely silent, completely still, breathing the same air as us. To this day, I cannot understand how none of us ever smelled the garbage piling up under there. I cannot understand how he never made a sound, not a cough, not a shift, not a creak. Not once, in weeks. After everything was cleaned out, my family gutted that room completely, replaced the furniture with wooden chairs, and turned it into a breakfast nook. Specifically so, there was no place for anyone to hide. I went off to college a few months later, and I was grateful, genuinely grateful, to have a reason to leave. But even now, every time I wake up with a cough, I think about that morning, and I think about what was living underneath us the whole time.